In one book, Nicola read about a place in North America called Niagara Falls. Nicola pictured in his mind a giant water wheel like the one he had built in his small village stream. He pictured it at the base of Niagara Falls. If his little homemade water wheel could work, how much power could a huge wheel powered by the falls make? Even then, he was imagining technology that didn't yet exist. Nicola showed his uncle, George Sipp, a picture of Niagara Falls. One day, Nicola told his uncle he would travel to America to make his idea work. When he was 10 years old, Nicola entered the Real Gymnasium in town. In Europe, a gymnasium is another name for a school. Real Gymnasium was Nicola's middle school. The way Nicola did math problems in his head amazed his teachers. They thought he might be cheating. He wasn't though. When Nicola was given a problem, he easily saw the solution in his mind. To him, visualizing figures in his head was no different than working them out on the board or a piece of paper. Niagara Falls. Niagara Falls is on the border between Canada and the state of New York in the United States. It was formed when glaciers melted at the end of the last ice age about 12,000 years ago. Niagara Falls is actually three waterfalls named the Horseshoe Falls, the American Falls, and the Bridal Veil Falls. The Horseshoe Falls is the highest, 167 feet, and the widest, 2,600 feet. Together, the three waterfalls drop 3,160 tons of water every second. Chapter 3: His Own Path. In 1866, when Nicola started at Real Gymnasium, it was a new and fairly well-equipped institution, he said. Its classrooms had scientific equipment that was modern for the times. Nicola liked it most when his teachers conducted electrical and mechanical experiments. He enjoyed his 4 years there, and he completed the program with high marks. The town leaders in Gospik were impressed. After graduation, they asked him to make a list of all the books they had in the local library. Before Nicola could get the job done though, he became very sick. He was forced to stay in bed for weeks at a time. His daughters feared that he might die. Nicola spent his time reading books from the library. One day, he discovered a collection of books by Mark Twain. His stories made Nicola laugh. He enjoyed them so much they almost made him forget how sick he was. Mark Twain's books helped Nicola make the miraculous recovery that followed, he said. Mark Twain, 1835 to 1910. Mark Twain is the pen name of Samuel Clemens, an American author and humorist who wrote 28 books and many short stories of essays. At the height of his career, Twain was one of the most famous men in the world. His two best-known novels are The Adventures of Tom Sawyer and Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. In 1870, after Nikola had discovered it, he moved to the city of Kafrfa to live with his aunt and uncle. He attended the Higher View Gymnasium High School there. Unfortunately, Calafat was a swampy area with lots of mosquitoes. Nikola hadn't been there long before he became sick again. This time, he had malaria, an infection caused by mosquito bites. Nikola's aunt and uncle took care of him, and he got better. He liked his aunt and uncle, but he liked the school even more. And as usual, when Nikola liked something, he threw himself into it completely. He worked so hard that it took her only 3 years to finish the 4-year program. At Higher View Gymnasium, he was especially impressed with his science classes and science experiments. Every time his professor finished an experiment, Nikola's mind wasted with 1,000 questions. Nikola decided he wanted to learn everything he could. He wanted to do his own research. His mind was made up. He was going to become an electrical engineer. An engineer is someone who designs or builds engines. An electrical engineer designs or builds them to work with electricity. He had just one problem though. His father still wanted him to become a priest. Nikola knew that Milutin wouldn't like it, but he needed to choose his own career path. Nikola thought it was best to return to Gospic and break the news to Milutin and Dwerka. But when Nikola wrote to them, his parents told him not to come. That's strange, Nikola thought. He figured that they would be happy they had finished his studies a year early. Milutin encouraged him to go on a long hunting trip with some friends. That's really strange, Nikola thought. A hunting trip was not something that would interest him, and his parents knew it. So Nikola traveled the 90 miles to Gospic. What his parents hadn't told him was there was a chlor liver epidemic in town at the time. Chlor liver is a serious illness that is caused by bacteria. It is very contagious, and in Nikola's time, it often was deadly. On his very first day home, Nicholas got colic. He spent the next 9 months in bed, and it appeared that he would not survive. His parents, who already had lost their son then, were stricken with grief. What could they do? Nikola was near death one day, and his father rushed to his side. Perhaps I may get well if you will let me study engineering, Nikola said. His father begged his son to fight for his life.